and these are new T-shirts we're going to be selling at the store.
I can't even.
So
That's the great.
it's not a bad gig getting to be Santa.
I'm so excited. I feel like it's Christmas Eve.
There you go.
And I'm talking to Santa.
There you go.
All right. So, shall we get into it?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So
I'll make sure we have a camera up there that I use on mine. I got to make sure I keep looking at the camera on my computer.
I have it. The camera's off to the side. I'll make reference to that in the little pod we're about to do. Okay. Well, welcome to Unscripted Turbulence. Ho, ho, ho. Are you all in a good mood today? You should be, because I have one special guest today. Now, he goes by two names. The first is, and I might butcher this.
It's okay.
Tom Dubreuil?
Dubreuil.
No. Dubreuil.
Yep.
Tom Dubreuil. I knew
A lot
that
of
I was
vowels
gonna mess
together
up.
that don't belong together, but yes.
But if you just saw him, oh yes, my friends, he is also known as Santa Claus. Okay. So you probably want to know, how on God's green earth do I know Santa Claus? Well, in my beginning of all of my podcasts, I call him Santa Tom, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
I always explain how I got to meet people, how you cross paths. I always think it's very fascinating. And this is a very special moment where Tom and I got to know each other. So I am from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, as some people know, others do not, even though I live in New York City. So my hometown is Bethlehem. And of course, I have to say Bethlehem because my mom would, snap me on my nose if I didn't say it correctly. So I'm from Bethlehem and born and raised. And I went to visit my parents this one sunny weekend. I think was it October?
End of September, early October,
End of
maybe?
September, you're right, yeah.
Yep.
So there's this really awesome brewery in downtown Bethlehem on Main Street called the Lost Tavern Brewing Company, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tom's nearby. We'll get to that. So I'm on Main Street. It's me, my dad, and Pilot. So Tom, if you're not aware, on this podcast, you don't even know my husband's first name, but we always call him Pilot because he's an airline pilot.
Right.
And he's very shy. So you got to meet Pilot, and a lot of people, well, you would know Pilot anyway because you're Santa, but we'll get to that later. So I'm sitting down having a couple of beers with my dad and Pilot, and I'm talking about my podcast or something. And all of a sudden, Tom, sitting right next door to me, in the table next to me, kind of, it involves himself in the conversation. I don't know if you asked about I have a podcast, or how did it go?
I think I heard you talking about the podcast, and I asked about the podcast.
Right. And then okay.
And then we just started chatting, and because I have recently started podcasting, I asked about it, and we just got involved in the conversation, and Pilot and your father, I guess, started talking, and my wife just got on her phone, and then we talked for about a half an hour, I think, about podcasts, about Bethlehem.
Yeah.
And it just went from there.
Yeah. Santa Tom would know the full story there. So we just clicked, and before you know it, we got into this really deep conversation about Santa Claus, and the reason being is because, Tom, I'll have you explain your title and what you do.
Sure. I am the Bethlehem Santa Claus for about 8 years now. I do the tree lightings. I, ride in the Halloween parade at the end of the parade, kind of signaling in Christmas. I sit outside in Bethlehem every Saturday and Sunday after Thanksgiving for free pictures with children, with pets. Last year, somebody brought a duck. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything. And about a year and a half ago, I opened a year-round Christmas shop on Main Street called Dear Santa. And so we're entering our second Christmas, so I get to be Santa all year long, basically, and own a Christmas shop that is just fun, and we try to make it magical. We have a little workshop in the back for children that they can write letters to Santa, they can play. We have a 2-foot high elf door where they can hear the elves building toys all year long from behind the door. So yeah, I get to be Santa Claus all year long, which
Uh,
never in a million years did I dream I would be Santa Claus.
and that's where this story begins, right? So,
Yes.
yeah. So when Tom heard me talk about my podcast, because yeah, I was talking to my dad about it, because he was asking about it, and I was trying to, explain it's a labor of love. So, you know, the reason why we're doing this remotely is because Santa Tom is in the North Pole right now, so he can't be here in New York City. So that's kind of how we're doing it. So, and as it would be, he's a very busy man this time of year.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was really cool. It was an organic conversation, and what's really cool is as a former TV news reporter, but always a journalist. In school, we're taught to just kind of strike up conversations at third party places, like on a park bench with somebody, or, if you just happen to see, somebody at a shop looking at something that you like too, you just strike up a conversation. You never know what story will unfold. And this was like the best story for you to literally kind of lean in. And then we just started going on and on and on. And I mean, your wife was the one who was like, oh, well, my husband has had turbulence
Yes.
of his own.
Yes.
So that's where we're going to begin. So let's start with, even though you live in the North Pole and Bethlehem right now,
Yes.
where are you from?
Originally from Western Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts. Chicopee, Mass. Is the name of my city, right near Springfield. Born and raised there until I went off to college up in Vermont.
And where in Vermont did you go? University of Vermont?
No, I went to a small liberal arts school called Middlebury College in
Oh,
Middlebury, Vermont, and then worked there for a year after, and then decided I never wanted to leave college, so I went to the University of Connecticut to study higher education and student affairs, and for 34 years worked in student affairs, dean of students, associate dean of students, that kind of thing.
And what colleges did you go? Because obviously you didn't just stay in Connecticut.
Right. So after Connecticut, I worked at Colgate University in upstate New York, where I met my wife, Lisa, who was working there as well in admissions. And we spent a few years there. Then we moved to the Lehigh Valley to work at Lehigh University. Both of us, she was working at admissions. I was working in student affairs, and I was in charge of discipline. She was at admissions. So the running family joke is she would let them in and I would kick them out.
That's good.
Yeah, we balanced each other out, I think. And then I left Lehigh in 2012 after 15 years to become the dean of students at what was then Moravian College, which is
yeah.
now called Moravian University.
Yeah, that's in like the heart. It's like in the heart of Bethlehem. It's
Oh yeah,
it's Moravian's
Main Street, the
beautiful.
Moravian Mile. Yeah, absolutely. But that's where I kind of got my heart broken by education and started to figure out my new career path of becoming Santa Claus.
So talk a little bit about that heartbreak as much as
Yeah.
you'd like to.
Sure. No, I'm comfortable. I'm almost over it now, all these years later. So I became the dean of students there in like I said, 2012 is when I became the dean of students at Moravian, and I loved it. I loved being the dean of students there. It was a campus of 2,300 people. Had great colleagues, had a great staff that I worked with, and just fell in love with it. And after 15 years at Lehigh, I thought, all right, this is it. This is the place I'm going to retire from someday. And 10 months later, my position was eliminated. After leaving 15 years at Lehigh and being at Moravian University for 10 months, they eliminated my job because of massive budget shortage.
Oh my gosh.
And I found out about a week before we were going on a cruise with my mother-in-law and father-in-law to celebrate her 70th birthday. So, yeah, it was shocking. I went down to meet with my boss, and there was the head of HR in there, and I thought, just we're talking about something, I'm not sure what. And that's when they broke the news to me at 9 a.m. that my position was no longer. So I didn't get fired. They just cut about 25 positions because of budget crisis. So, then I'm on a cruise a week later, and internet and phone on the cruise is not the greatest thing in the world.
No.
Trying to recover from that and then figure out what I was going to do next. My wife at that time was working at Moravian Academy, which is a private high school in the area, and absolutely loved her job. She's a college counselor there. And trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So we got back from the cruise and I started to do some job searching. Found a job at Penn State in Pennsylvania. For those people that don't know, there's about 22 different campuses, regional campuses everywhere. So there's a campus that's about an hour drive away in Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania. So I was able to get a job in student affairs there as director of student affairs. Did that for about 2 years, realized I hate driving 115 miles every day.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Because that took you how long from Bethlehem to drive?
it was it was round trip 115. It took me a little more than an hour every day drive on
Ugh.
really crowded roads. And in student affairs, you have a lot of evening activities. So it really started to drag. So I did that for 2 years. Decided I needed to find something closer to home, but there was nothing in student affairs. So then I applied for and got a job at Lafayette College, which is another great school in the Lehigh Valley,
Yep.
doing parent fundraising. And I realized very quickly I am pretty okay at building relationships, but I'm not really good at asking people for more money after they're already paying $60,000 a year in tuition.
Yeah.
So kind of survived that for about a year. And then director of student affairs job at Penn State Lehigh Valley, which is right here in Center Valley, right near Bethlehem, came open. And I applied for it and got that job. And,
And what year was that at that point?
that was, I think, 2015.
Okay.
So a few years, about 3 years after I had lost my job at Moravian. And in my second year here, I was in a kind of a leadership retreat in the summer. And the director of alumni affairs was talking about her plans for the year. We were kind of going through all our plans. And she said, we want to do an alumni Christmas party. Does anyone know a Santa Claus? And at that time, I didn't have a beard. And I said, well, my son, when he was in daycare, after he got older, I played Santa for his daycare, but I wore a fake beard. But I can grow a beard. I said, I'll grow a beard and do it. Just get me a suit to wear. So grew the beard out and wore the suit for the party and fell in love with it and played Santa for a family friend of mine that year and loved it and started to look into it and realized this is something you can do for fun, for feeling good about things, for bringing people happiness, and also it's not a bad side gig. You can and with a real beard, you can make some decent money.
Yeah.
So did a lot of research, talked to people on Facebook. I think I have more Santa friends on Facebook than I do normal people. The next year had a custom suit made with the Star of Bethlehem on it. And because
Where do you get a custom suit made?
Oh, there's suit makers all over the country.
For Santa outfits?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a guy in Texas that made my first suit, and then a woman in Louisiana that made my second suit.
Oh,
Oh, Raegan, I went to 2 Santa schools. So I jumped all in. So this was my part-time gig starting in November of every year.
so wait, talk about the Santa. When did you decide, okay, next step, Santa school?
I just loved it and started talking to these Santas, and they were like, if you get a chance, you may want to think about doing a school. And at that time, I'm like, why? To learn how to ho, ho, ho? I didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
And then I did one online, and then I did one in person. And it was kind of amazing because what they teach is storytelling. So like every Santa has their own. I've got stories about my elves that I could tell you right now, about 10 of my elves at the North Pole. There's Delilah, there's Millie, my head elf, there's Tinker, who's my original elf that built wooden toys. So it's about developing stories. And so that's one of the things they teach you a little bit. It's about how to deal with tough questions and situations from kids.
Yeah.
It's not just, when you're sitting with a little one, it's not just, I want this, this, and this for Christmas. I've had questions. My mom died last year. Can you bring her back to me?
Oh, how do you answer that, Santa?
You talk about, I can't do that, but I can put her memory in your heart for Christmas, and it'll be there every year and all the time. So, that's a question. My dad's in prison. Can you get him out? I've had that question. And that's one where it's like, I think your dad would tell you that, he made a mistake and he's making up for it now, and he wants you to continue to be good and believe in him. And so those are all the little things that you never expect as a Santa Claus,
But they
you
prep
know.
you for in school?
That it's a lot of talking with other Santas. Hey, what's the
Okay.
strangest question you've had? What's the strangest comment that you've had? And then it's just repetition, it's a
And where
lot of
did
repetition.
where was this school? You like went to an actual
So
brick and
one,
mortar?
yeah. So there's one group that would do them in kind of each of the four corners of the country. So I went to one in New Jersey. There's a really famous one called the Charles Howard one. I think it's out in the Chicago area. And then the other one I did was online, which I don't remember where he was based out of, but it was like a 4 week, kind of 2 hours every week kind of class. So I have my associates in Santacology, basically, is what they say after you finish it.
Oh my gosh. So
It's a
you went
it's a whole world, Reagan. It's some of the and some people really think they're Santa Claus. I absolutely believe it. And there's a lot of great guys out there that portray Santa. I've met a woman that portrays Santa. Um, and some of them though are really grumpy people.
oh,
I
are
don't
they?
know. It's
That's
like
off the
why are you
record.
being yeah, it's like why are you being Santa if you're grumpy? You
Oh, well
know?
that's not you. That's not you though, Santa Tom.
No, I love it. I could be sick and exhausted, and by the end of December, I normally am. But bring me into a room with some kids, and you just forget about all that, and you really do try to embody it and live it. And then the other, so that's part of it's, you make some good money, but then there's the other part too that I try to volunteer a lot. I'm doing 4 different NICUs this year, neonatal ICUs for their families, because they want their child's first Christmas picture too with Santa. I've got one little boy that I saw him 7 years ago when he was 5 months old. He was a preemie, and he comes to see me every year still. So that's the stuff that makes it special and worth it. I do a
Oh
Special
my
Olympics
gosh.
party every year for our local Special Olympics team, and you've got to do those things too. And so I try to do. And there's some Santas that all they do is charity work; they don't get paid at all. So all of us though do some form of charity work one way or the other.
Yeah.
And
So
if you're not doing it, then again, why? If I'm Santa Claus, then I should be doing these things.
rightfully so. Good point.
Yeah.
Now, you were at Lehigh Valley and then you're going to Santa school,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so at one point something else changed, didn't it?
Um, I'm trying to remember which. So, yeah. So then, all right. So I'm doing Santa. I'm playing Santa. I am working every single weekend day from November through Christmas, because I worked with 4 different photographers in November doing family photo sessions, and two
Oh
or
my
three different
gosh.
photographers a day for 3-hour sessions. And then during COVID, the Bethlehem has me. They're the ones that hire me to sit out and greet people every Saturday and Sunday afternoon and take pictures. And so during COVID, though, I was behind. I was in a business called Brownstone Design behind glass, talking to kids through microphones, and I'd like kneel down and they'd stand up against the window, and
Oh.
and it was as good as it could be, and
Yeah.
loved it. And that's when we heard about the Moravian Bookshop. So for those not familiar with Bethlehem, the Moravian Bookshop is the oldest continuous bookstore in the country, and it was a privately, independently owned bookstore. And during COVID, we found out that the owners had sold it to Moravian University. And Moravian University, their bookstore is run by Barnes and Noble. And people were crushed when they heard it's an icon in Bethlehem.
Yeah, it
And
is. I loved going there in like high school, and they had
yeah,
like this little like cafe in the back, and
at
you'd
a
have like lunch.
cafe.
Oh, it was just the coolest. Again, on Main Street in
Yep.
Bethlehem, like
Yep.
the coolest.
And it had one entire side that was this magical Christmas side.
Yes. With all the Moravian stars.
Everything, Moravian
Oh,
stars and advent calendars and every ornament you can think of. And it
yep.
was just, and so we, like when my wife and I first moved to the area, anytime family or friends would come in, we'd bring them to the Moravian bookshop. That was a go-to place. Everybody did it when you had friends and family come in. And so we found out that was sold, and originally the Barnes& Noble got rid of the entire Christmas side of the bookstore. And my thought as I was sitting in the window when I heard about this is, how are we, Bethlehem is the Christmas city, named it in 1937 by the mayor of Bethlehem. How do we not have a year-round Christmas shop in the Christmas city? So at that point in time, and since then, the side where the Christmas shop is our brewery, Lost
Yeah,
Tavern.
I was going to say that's where.
So that's a benefit, that's kind of a plus that came out of it.
Yeah.
And the manager there is wonderful. She's been really supportive of me, and she's brought back some Christmas things that are just lovely, and convinced Barnes & Noble, hey, this is the Christmas city. We've got to carry Christmas stuff. But anyway, that's when I said to my wife, why don't we open a Christmas shop? And she's like, you're insane. We're both in education. We don't know how to do this. We know nothing about business. And I was like, all right, well. So I started to do research. I know nothing about business, and I'm still learning every day. But I started to call around to different year-round Christmas shops, seeing if anyone would give me advice. I did research online about opening Christmas shops, about business in general. I took a class on entrepreneurship through Penn State. I met regularly with somebody from the Small Business Association here in Bethlehem, trying to understand it. And then I waited for the right spot, because I knew if I was going to really jump in and do this, it had to be the right location. So I had a business plan. I figured how much money I thought I'd need to open it, and then just kind of sat back and waited. Still did the education thing, still did the Santa thing. And then the right location directly across from the Hotel Bethlehem came open. And for
Hotel
people,
B.
again, Bethlehem, the Hotel Bethlehem is for 5 years straight the number one historic hotel in the country. It is everything you think of at Christmas time, the decorations.
The lobby.
Stunning.
Oh, and then I will say shout out to Spiro, who is the bartender over.
I don't know
Hotel
Spiro,
B.
but
I do. He makes one good dirty martini. So
There
I
you
just
go.
wanted to say shout out to Spiro.
Spiro,
Oh.
there you go. So the spot came open. I had somebody recommend me to the landlord, who has just been fantastic with me. We heard about it in November. I signed the lease, took out a loan, putting me tremendously in debt. Convinced my wife it was the right thing to do, and at one point in time, I thought, well, I'll do education and then kind of run this. And I said, no, if I'm going to do it, I've got to jump in with both feet, take the chance. We opened in April of 2024. Our first year, we won the Reader's Choice Award for Best Gift Shop in the region, and just won that again for a second year in a row now. So really excited about that. We're hitting our busy season, but it's my sister-in-law actually retired from teaching in Maryland, and she and her husband moved up here. So it's just a nice small family business. It's Dear Santa. And so it's a family-run business. My wife still works in education, but she'll come down to the shop every now and then to pitch in. And
But she won't be Mrs. Claus.
she
has
will
told
not
me.
be Mrs. Claus.
That's a hard no.
That's a big hard no. Even though there's a movie out called The Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, I figured if Goldie Hawn can be Mrs. Claus, why can't
I mean-
But she just wants to keep those worlds separate. So she
Understood.
loves me being Santa.
Yeah.
She just doesn't want to be Mrs. Claus.
Understood.
And all her friends tease her and call her Mrs. Claus, and it just I'm not that dumb. I don't say that. But so yeah, we've been open about a year and a half. We've been
Are
getting
you still at Lehigh or Lehigh Valley, Penn
Nope,
State? Lehigh?
I left when we opened the shop.
So you were like, this is it.
If
I'm
I'm
in.
doing it, I have to jump in full and give them 100% and really learn the business and immerse myself. Plus, a shop called Dear Santa, when you walk in and see Santa working behind the desk, I mean, the number of random people that will say to me, can I take a picture of you? I'm not in my suit. I'm wearing a reindeer T-shirt, and people take pictures with me because I'm Santa working at a shop called Dear Santa.
Okay,
So
so do little kids? Okay, so you have that look. You're like,
all year, a little
okay.
shorter beard in January, but all year.
So then, when little kids come up to you, like let's say in July,
Yep.
what do you tell them? And they're like, "Hey, Santa." Do they recognize it could be Santa?
Yeah,
What do you
they
say?
they do, and I let them know that Mrs. Claus sent me down. I'm undercover. Don't tell anyone. And I'll be like, shh. But I'm checking up because I heard there were some naughty and nice kids in the area, so I'm checking up to see how. And they love. So I've got some regulars that come in all the time to go back to our. We've got the little workshop in the back for kids, and they'll come in and they're like, "Hey, Santa, Mrs. Claus let you down here today, huh?" So yeah, there's little ones that believe all year, and then I've also got Santa trading cards, so I may give them a trading card when they leave. I've got little cards that say "You've been caught being nice." I've got these little toy snowmen that I'll give them as a good luck charm. So yeah, we play it all year.
So
I'm
you
undercover
created all of
Santa.
this? You created
Yes.
like the trading cards and just
A lot of Santas do that. I mean, a lot of
really?
Santas do it. Yeah, it's so Santa's that. A lot of people think when they think of Santa, they just think of a mall Santa.
Mhm.
But there's lots of Santas, and I was never ever a mall Santa. I started right away doing home visits, so like little half-hour home visits, and then also some country clubs and photos with photographers. I've got a nice book, so before I do an event, like a family visit or something, and I don't have a lot of time to do those anymore, but I will get the names of each kid, print it out on kind of old looking paper, and then put it in glue it into my nice book so that we can go through the nice book and find their name in the nice
Oh
book.
my
So it's all
goodness.
about the magic and making it special and fun. And I've got a little naughty or nice meter that they put their fingers on it and I can control it. So there's different levels of naughty and nice, and so it's fun, it's special, but yeah, these are all. The one thing that I am proud of that we did create that we actually have in the store, we have retired sleigh bells. So there's one Santa that makes reindeer cards with pictures of the reindeer with a description
Mhm.
on the back. I found a local bell guy that does bells on little leather straps, and we combined the card with the bell, and then a little tag saying "Retired sleigh bell, worn by Rudolph, authorized by Santa, taken out of use due to general wear and tear." So every year we release two of them. So we've got four out right now. We'll release two new ones next year. We have a local woodworker that made kind of a board that you can hang them on as collector's items, so people can start their own little. So that's something that we did that people really think is different and special. So
Santa Tom, I will say that, I get moved and touched in podcasts. Jesus, it's gonna happen again. This is really special.
well,
Like
thank you.
I don't know. I feel like I'm that little kid looking for Santa. Oh,
Oh, thank
geez,
you.
he's like, why? Well, there's no need for the waterworks over here.
Well, it's
I'm just so moved at everything. Like you read, this is pure Christmas magic.
no, thank you. And I'll be honest, there's days where I'm like, why didn't I just stay in education? I knew what I was doing.
No,
But, and it's so funny because my wife and I talk, and I'm like, who would have thought that I'd be Santa Claus in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and own a year-round Christmas shop? When we got married 30 years ago, we never thought that. I mean, that
isn't
wasn't
it?
even, until I lost my job and then started at Penn State and they needed a Santa Claus. And then I don't even really know how, I don't even know, I can't even remember how Bethlehem heard about me. I think it was a friend of a friend told the person that's in charge of the Downtown Bethlehem Association, "Hey, I know this great Santa. He's got a real beard. He's a nice guy." So they hired me, and so I do different promotional videos for them and for free a lot because my
Yeah.
shop is on Main Street in Bethlehem. I want Bethlehem to be successful
Oh
because
yeah.
then I'm successful. And it's such a, from Main Street, it's just such a special place, and particularly at Christmas time. I mean,
Oh, it is. It's
Christmas
truly magical.
I mean, horse-drawn carriages and carolers. They're putting up the lights already. Every
Really?
oh yeah, every stoplight in Bethlehem has a Christmas tree on it
That's
that
yeah,
lights up.
yeah, yeah,
So
yep, yep.
it's a special kind of place. And the cool thing is, the other part of it that I'll just mention is Bethlehem also the Moravian settlement. So the Moravians came over in the 1700s. They were missionaries from Moravian Church, I think in the Germany area,
Hmm.
settled in Bethlehem, named it Bethlehem in 1741 on Christmas Eve. We are one of 26 World Heritage Sites in the United States right now. So that's another kind of really special thing about Bethlehem, the history. Up the street from my shop at the Sun Inn, George and
Oh,
Martha Washington stayed there. Sam
yep.
Adams, John Adams, Ben Franklin, the Marquis de Lafayette. I mean, talk about, you've got the history, you've got the magic of Christmas. It's just such a, and I feel so blessed and honored to be part of that community now, you know?
Yeah,
So,
it is truly. Bethlehem is a very cool place, and for my listeners, I have a majority of my listeners who live in the New York City area, and surprisingly enough, a lot of people do know of Bethlehem.
mhm.
When I was a street reporter, people would say, "Oh, I've been there" and stuff. But if you haven't been there yet, try to make it a point this season to get to Bethlehem. And it's the main street. They have also Chris Kindlemart, right?
Chris
That's
Kindle Mart, which
going
is
on.
yep, that's across the river, about a mile from Main Street. It's where the old Bethlehem Steel was.
Yeah, it
That
used to
now is a
be.
whole arts center.
Yes.
Yep,
But
it's
didn't it
called.
used to be down by the Monocacy Creek?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's
Yeah.
over there. It's called the Steel Stacks,
Yep.
and it's the old Bethlehem Steel where they have a lot of music festivals, and they just have tents. They're going to be showing outside Christmas movies. It's really neat, and hundreds of vendors over there as well. So, and
And
there's
when does that
actually a
open up, by the
that
way?
opens up, I think, like November 14th or 15th.
Oh,
Yeah, everything opens up around here like November 14th, 15th. Except Santa doesn't show up to start seeing people until after we light the tree. We light the tree the Friday after Thanksgiving, so Black Friday, and then I'll start sitting out every Saturday, Sunday afternoon behind the Sun Inn from 1 to 5 on Saturdays and 1 to 4 on Sundays. So come out and say you heard about us on Reagan's podcast.
oh my gosh. Yeah, because I already know. So obviously, we're taping this earlier.
Yeah,
This is going to air on the 12th of November. So this is,
awesome.
yeah, which is,
Well, and the other thing that I've started to do because I guess I was bored is I actually, and this is how we started talking. I started a podcast called
yeah.
Dear
So go on
Santa.
about the podcast.
So I don't know why I did this because I'm actually an introvert. I really am. So this
That's
takes
actually surprising to hear, by the
it
way.
takes so much energy for me. Like my wife and I go home and we don't talk because we're all talked out. And when I'm Santa, though, it's really strange because it's like I'm a different person. I really, truly, I don't believe I'm Santa, but I just get energy from it.
Yeah.
But people come into the shop and we have a lot of really neat nostalgic things. We have old ceramic trees that we hear my grandmother made one of those in a ceramics class, or my aunt gave us hers, or mine got thrown out in the 90s and we can't find it, and they're incredibly popular now. If you look, these old green ceramic trees with lights,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about.
I know what you're
so
talking about. Yeah.
so I found a local woman that makes those, and so she sells them to me and then I sell them. We sold 400 of them last year because they're back in style again. But
Oh, my gosh.
the real story though is people come in and look at our items and look at our ornaments and the snow globes and everything, and they start telling stories about their Christmas memories. I remember when I was little, my father bought me that, or my mother made this, or my grandmother, gave me an ornament that looks just like that. So I decided what fun it could be for Santa to interview people about their Christmas memories. So that's what the podcast Dear Santa is. I just did one before this where I had the hat and I had the outfit, and Santa interviews people about 30 minutes about their Christmas memories. Tell me about Christmas morning. Did you have a rule? Mom and dad had to have coffee first. What did you go to midnight
Oh.
mass? What's your favorite Christmas movie? Favorite Christmas cookie? So we do that, and I just had a lot of fun. It's coming out in a couple weeks. We interviewed from Christmas Vacation
Mhm.
the little girl that played Ruby, who had just a classic scene with Clark.
Uncle Eddie.
Yep, well, Uncle Eddie's kid. Yep, and she had a classic scene with Chevy Chase as Clark,
Oh,
And
When
yeah,
he was looking out the window?
yes. And so we got a chance to interview her and hear her Christmas stories and Christmas memories. And everybody's got stories. I interviewed a couple that I swear they were right out of Harry Met Sally, with finishing each other's sentences and talking about the cat that tore down the tree. And, he brought home a tree to their first Christmas and she said, no, take it out. And they went and got another one. So just a lot of fun little stories that we talk about. And I get to interview them as Santa, which is great fun.
And is that podcast on Apple, Spotify?
So we have it on. So we have the video version on YouTube, and
Okay.
it's called Dear Santa, and then we have it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts.
That's
And
awesome.
we're not monetizing it. We're just putting it out because we thought there needed to be some good stories out in the world. So
Oh,
just
gosh.
trying to, because people will talk about their memories, and our hope is people will watch the podcast, and have their own conversations about their favorite Christmas memories.
Oh my gosh. So take me through, if someone's listening
Yep.
and they're thinking, I want to go to the Dear Santa shop on Main Street in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which, if you're coming from New York City, it's only on a good day without traffic. You can get to Bethlehem in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I like to tell people when they say to me, oh, Bethlehem's so far. No, you will sit in traffic. It is harder to get from Manhattan to Brooklyn than it is from New York City anywhere to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
There's
So,
people that commute in to work in New York from Bethlehem.
you know what? Pilot's father did that for 20 years.
Yep.
Lives in Bethlehem Township, and then drove all the way into Manhattan and then back again for 20 years. So
There's
yes,
buses that leave in
yes,
every half an hour, going straight to the I guess the parking authority
the
somewhere.
Port Authority.
Port
There's,
Authority,
the Port
yes.
Authority. They go, and then you could get the buses at off of
You can get them
33.
everywhere. Yeah,
Route 33
right off of
is one
33 and back. Yeah, it's
22. Yeah,
My
there's
son used to go into New York with his friends, just catch a bus and then catch it home. So
so easy. So
Yeah.
let's say somebody's like, all right, I want to go to Bethlehem. I'm going to do it. What can I expect when walking through the door of Dear Santa?
you can expect, first of all, to be greeted. We welcome everybody. I mean, you will hear somebody yell out, "Welcome! Happy to have you here." We're all about welcoming people. You will find just sparkly. You will find snow globes. You will find ornaments. You will find a workshop in the back where, no matter what your age, you can write a letter to Santa and then mail it in our North Pole mailbox. And then you have to ring the bell to let the elves know from behind the elf door to come out and pick it up at midnight. You can color, you can play, you can find Bethlehem stars, Moravian stars, you name it. You can find. We have one whole section that is just local artist work. So we have two different brands of local candles that are made by two wonderful women here in one in Easton and one in Bethlehem. We have a lot of really amazing glass workers and glass blowers who make some amazing things for us. We have a whole selection from just down the road in, I think it's Carlisle, Pennsylvania, of gourds. So they take gourds and they make them into Santas and snowmen, and there's lights in them. And it's just really we try to be very unique. What you can find in Hallmark, you can't find here, and vice versa, because we want kind of classic, beautiful, fun ornaments. We've got wooden toys for children that are made up. Actually, believe it or not, there's a wooden toy shop up in Middlebury, Vermont, and I found them last year. And so we've got wooden toys here made in Middlebury, Vermont. It's just a little bit of everything. A lot of really beautiful hand knit hats, both from here in the U.S., but also from Peru. A lot of fun hats. We have one that is a reindeer hat. We've got one that is a Bumble Abominable Snowman hat.
Oh,
Puzzles from the Vermont Christmas Company. I mean, if you're looking for something Christmas, you can find it all year. And then the other thing we have is really mementos from Bethlehem. Mm-hmm. We have a variety of Bethlehem ornaments, magnets, so that you can bring a piece of Bethlehem home with you. We've got Dear Santa hats, which I'm wearing right now. But more than anything, I think, people come into the store and it's a place to feel good. It makes you smile any time of the year. Some people will come in May and be like, I'm not ready for Christmas yet, but I saw this and I had to come see it.
Yeah.
So we've got nutcrackers. We've got just bouncies,
Everything.
these wooden bouncy toys that are on springs that are made in Prague. So
Oh,
yeah, it's a
wow.
lot of really unique and fun things, and hopefully something for everyone. We've got candy canes that are almost a foot long from Hammond's Candy in Colorado,
Wow,
and
you
not
have
just
like everything.
yeah, not just mint. We've got our favorite. The kids' favorite flavor is cotton candy. So cotton
Yeah.
candy, candy
Yeah.
canes. So
So
yeah,
now, so you said that you obviously dress the part of Santa.
hmm
When can people expect to see you at the shop or where, or is it outside? Like,
so I'm usually during the week after Thanksgiving. During the week, I'm typically in the shop 3 to 4 days. Just working there, wearing a t-shirt and shorts or pants, looking like Santa, but not in the suit. Um, and then, like I said, every Saturday and Sunday afternoon, they can find me in the suit up behind the Sun Inn. Bring your camera. Pictures are free. Take as many as you want. And the great thing about that is it's not like a mall Santa where you drop and run and you get 2 minutes to get a picture. Like kids will come up and they'll bring their list and we'll talk for a few minutes and I'll ask them about school and we'll spend time until and if they're not comfortable, they're outside so they can run around and play and see other kids coming to see me. And then eventually we work on, I, I've, I get very lucky in that I think one of my talents is making little ones want to come and say hi and warm up and get a little more comfortable. And if they don't want to, I never make anyone sit on my knee. They can stand, they can sit next to me because we have a little bench. And
yeah,
I'll just
sometimes
kind
they
of,
get all scared. They're like,
yeah.
"Ugh."
Well, we tell kids to have stranger danger, but then here, go sit on this chubby, hairy guy.
Oh my gosh, I know. But it
You
is.
know?
I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny when
Yeah.
sometimes these kids have meltdowns. Some of my friends' kids have had meltdowns,
Yep.
and it's not funny, but it's funny. And
Yeah.
I know that they're listening, so yeah, we all laugh. But the poor little kids.
Some of the parents love the crying picture.
I mean, it's
And
so mean, but
yeah. So I really work hard on not pressuring kids. But
yeah,
if a child's standing like a foot away from me, I'll kind of lean in so they get the picture with Santa still, and
yeah.
or if they're crying, I'll kind of give them kind of one of those looks. And
Oh, that's funny. That's good. You
yeah.
play along with it. That's
Oh,
good.
absolutely. And you don't want to put pressure on the kid. And the
No.
great thing is I'm out there for 4 weekends in a row. So if it doesn't work one day, come back the next day.
So it's the
You
weekend
know?
after Thanksgiving every
Yep.
weekend
Right up until Christmas. Yep.
and
Yep.
then just so people know, like the
The
Dear
shop is
Santa
yep.
and the Sun Inn are on the same side of the street
Yes.
on Main Street, and it's not like 5 city blocks, right? It's
No, it's literally
at
like
the end of the block.
200 yards.
It's like right there.
And we're opening a new parking deck in Bethlehem in 2 weeks. So people will be
Oh,
able to
that
park.
one where it
Yep,
used to
the
be
one they were building.
Technicolor?
Yeah, yep, yep.
Wow.
That'll be open, and that is right, literally 100 yards from where I sit as Santa Claus. So it's easy in, easy out to come see Santa. And the shop, we're open 7 days a week. Starting on the 14th, we're going to be open 10 to 7 on Sundays through Thursdays, 10 to 9 on Saturdays and Sundays. And
Oh,
I've
that's
got
perfect.
a great team. And then, like I said, we welcome people in, and when they leave, even if they didn't buy anything, we thank them for coming because people I think really enjoy it and they appreciate it. We have a reindeer out in front of the store. His name is Boop, and so when you walk by, you boop his nose for good luck. Not a real reindeer.
I was
but
going to say,
not a
you
live
mean your
reindeer.
mayor's letting you have real reindeer?
No, not a live reindeer. But people have. It's it's so funny, Raegan, because now when I'm in the shop when I go to open, I see people that live in Bethlehem walking to their car, walking to work, and every day they boop his nose. Like the same people.
Stop.
Grandmothers, they'll stop for pictures, but every day, a lot of the Hotel Bethlehem workers will come by every day and boop his nose for luck.
That is so
So
cute.
it's starting to become a little bit of a tradition.
Oh my gosh. So I know Santa is busy. So is there any Santa-ism or any memory that you want to share? Any hopes and dreams? I always like to end it with like a really nice sparkle. But if you want to
Yeah.
do your like a Santaism or a hope and dream for yourself, how would you
Sure.
like to end it?
I would say, well, Santa would say, and this is what I say as Santa when I see anyone, little kids or adults, just be kind to each other. I want children to say please and thank you. I want them to tell their family, and I'll tell them this: tell your family you love them. People don't hear that a lot. Tell your friends you love them. Be kind to each other, and not just at Christmas time, and especially for little ones. Don't worry about the nice list. I keep an eye on the nice list all year long. So try to be nice all year long, and leave it at that. It's everyone is a little more patient at Christmas time sometimes. Everyone's a little gentler at Christmas time. Keep that up all year long. And if you get frustrated at Christmas because of traffic or because of crowds, stop for a minute and think what it's supposed to be about. Goodwill towards all. So that's kind of it. I try to live that. I try to believe that. My wife sometimes will tell you I don't really live up to it, but I do my best. But remember what it's supposed to be about. Enjoy the people you're with. Make time for the people you're with. This world is too crazy and too fast-paced sometimes. Get off the phone, put it down. Stop. If you go to a concert, stop videoing the concert and actually watch the concert.
Yeah.
Same thing with daily life. Stop videoing life. Live it, and be a little kinder and a little gentler.
Oh, well, those are wise words from Santa. It was a pleasure, Santa Tom.
I
This was
appreciate it.
so, I am so tickled. I'm so glad that you leaned in and started a conversation about the podcast on that late September day on Main Street in Bethlehem.
Me too.
This is cool. This is
Wonderful.
cool.
And please come see us again this before Christmas, Raegan. All right, come look us
I
up.
will. I will absolutely. I'll be down there. So
Good. And all New Yorkers or anyone that listens to this, come experience Bethlehem. It really is something magical all year, but particularly at Christmas. It's something pretty special. Look up at South Mountain across the river. There's a star lit all year there. We became the Christmas city in 1937, and that's when that star went up. So enjoy yourself.
beautifully put. Okay, well, thank you so much. I'll let you go back to the North Pole.
All right. Thanks so much, Raegan. I really, truly enjoyed this. And thank you for not telling me to mind my own business when we were sitting and I leaned
No.
in. So
Never. I collect friends. I never
There you
push
go.
them away.
good.
Plus,
All
if
right.
I said that to Santa,
Yeah.
I'm not going on the nice list.
No.
I'll tell you that much right
you,
now.
You secure a spot in the naughty list for quite a while.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom, Santa.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends. Have a good one. Take what lands, leave what doesn't, and keep moving forward. Follow wherever you're listening, and if you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know.